Michael and Tracy meet online and are together long before tying the knot in Brisbane, Australia, where Michael's from. The divorce proceedings with Dr. Pittman are ugly and protracted, leading to an ongoing custody battle over Bert. On June 1st, 1996, John is court instructed to pay child support, $750 per month, inflating to $1,000 per month in 1998. He still has visiting privileges with Bert. The newly married Michael and Tracy are looking for a change of scenery and want to get away from the big city.
Tracy and Michael moved early in 1998. They moved from one of the largest cities in the United States to probably one of the smallest. Found a quaint Victorian home in a small town.
That same year, they start an online business and have a son. Moving to Early is a chance to get away from the past and start over.
It's very tight-knit. Everybody knows everybody. The population's between 300 and 500 people. It's largely dependent upon local agriculture. So it's very quaint, and a lot of families have lived there for generations upon generations.
But even in a new town, issues with her ex-husband, John Pittman, persist. He has visitation rights, and therefore Bert must share his time between Tracy and John's places.
Tracy isn't happy about the arrangement. John is pushing to have full custody of Bert, and Tracy is afraid she may lose her son.
In 2001, the custody case over Bert is looming. But life for Tracy and Michael in Early, Iowa is good. Michael is busy with his computer business, and Tracy has since had another child, a daughter. Then, on December 13th, 2001, less than 2 weeks before Christmas, Michael has to go out of town.
Michael was on a business trip with his business partner.
Tracy is home alone with the kids when the unthinkable happens.
Tracy's son, Bert Pittman, made the 911 call. The 911 operator picked up and received what was a very frantic and hurried message that was very disjointed. The 911 technology did identify the Roberts residence as being the source of the call.
An officer is dispatched, though they have no idea what they're walking into. Within minutes, a deputy is on the scene.
He's approaching and very cautious, concerned not just for, his own safety, but the safety of the neighbors, the safety of Tracy and her children inside the home. He placed himself behind a large tree adjacent to the Roberts home and then had dialogue with Tracy, who had stepped out of the side door and communicated that not one, but two men had fled, and she pointed the direction that they had gone.
As he comes out from behind the tree cover, he looks closely in the direction that Tracy said the men fled. But oddly enough, there are no tracks in the snow. Maybe in all the commotion, she's simply confused about the direction that they actually went. His main concern now is making sure that he gets everybody inside the house so that Tracy and her kids are safe.
The deputy checks if Tracy and the children are okay and asks for details of what happened.
The scenario that she describes is that she runs into the bedroom. Somebody comes in after her and grabs her and has a sort of pantyhose or some sort of scarf around her neck and is just yanking at her.
So far, between the 911 call and Tracy's bursts of information, it's not clear if there's someone still in the home. And if there is someone in the home, are they a threat?
The deputy finally gets Tracy to confirm there is someone upstairs, but she shot him several times, and she's pretty sure he's dead. A second officer arrives on the scene, allowing the deputy to leave Tracy and her kids while he sweeps the rest of the home. The officer points to the white vehicle in the driveway. Tracy says it isn't hers and that it must belong to the intruders. All the lights, save for the kitchen, appear to be off. The deputy makes his way through the house with his flashlight.
He finds a light switch at the foot of the stairs, and as he goes along, he continues to call out, announcing himself. If there is still someone there, they need to know that he's a police officer and that they need to show themselves.
The deputy slowly makes his way down the hall toward the master bedroom.
Before even getting to the bedroom, he can see that there's a body of a man on the floor near the doorway. He calls out, but there's no response, and as he gets closer, he can see why.
He's lying on the ground in a pool of blood.
The deputy can see he's been shot several times. There's very little chance that this individual is still alive. He checks for a pulse. There is none. Whoever this home invader was, he was killed by Tracy in self-defense.
There is literally still smoke in the air from the guns, and it smells like a weapon has just been fired.
The deputy calls down to the other officer, letting him know that the intruder is dead and that the house is secure.
Tracy and her children have just suffered a harrowing ordeal. It'll now be up to investigators to put all the pieces together in an effort to understand why they are the targets of this home invasion gone wrong, and how it ended in the death of this young man.
There were two figures coming up the stairs, and I saw the face of the first one come up. There was a struggle in the hallway. I was screaming, "Don't move," and I eventually fired one round.
Ready to party? I'm talking about Jackpot Party, the leading free-to-play mobile slots game that always gives you more. Download Jackpot Party for free and get a 45 million coin bonus. Jackpot Party, a party in every spin.
When we made the switch to Coterie diapers, our baby started sleeping better through the night and we had way less diaper changes. The material is incredibly soft, thin, and luxurious. It feels like clothing. If you want the best of the best for your baby, try Coterie. You won't regret it.
I was seeing this bra all over my Instagram feed. I'm sure you're seeing it too.
This is the most comfortable bra I've ever put on in my life.
I love it because one, it's not underwire. I hate underwire.
It smooths out your back. It doesn't give you back fat or back rolls.
You could wear this under a t-shirt and it wouldn't leave any marks or bulges.
So not only is it super supportive, lifting and smoothing, but you have all that without an underwire and without a ton of padding.
So if you're looking at this and it's available, I promise you won't regret it.
Try risk-free with our 30-day fit guarantee at honeylove.com.
Most probiotics don't survive digestion. That means whatever you're taking for your gut probably isn't getting where it needs to go. Seeds DSO1 Daily Symbiotic is the 2-in-1 prebiotic and probiotic engineered to survive, bringing live bacteria all the way down to the colon toward a healthy digestive, skin, heart, and immune system. Get started today with Seeds DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. Visit seed.com to order now.
A better banking app is right at your fingertips. Download Dave, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less, right through your phone. There's no interest, no credit checks, and no late fees. Because getting help shouldn't set you back. Switch to the banking app made for you, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. Download the Dave app now, or go to dave.com today.
Attention, parents of premature babies. If your child was born premature and was later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, or NEC, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Several studies have shown a link between cow's milk-based formula and NEC. If your baby was fed a cow's milk-based formula, such as Similac, Enfamil, Gerber, or even store-branded cow's milk-based formula, and was diagnosed with NEC, don't wait. Call the Victims' Justice Group now. Necrotizing enterocolitis is a severe intestinal illness that often requires surgery and can be fatal 50% of the time. NEC can affect any newborn, but babies born prematurely or at low birth weight are more susceptible to NEC. If your child was fed a cow's milk-based formula and was later diagnosed with NEC, you may qualify to file a claim against the formula manufacturer. Our attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve for your pain and suffering. If your child was fed a cow's milk-based formula and was diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, or NEC, don't delay. Call our helpline now.
Every day feels like a vacation in PAX Coastal Collection. Made with 100% organic cotton, these looks are light, breathable, and always go with the flow. Because some things are made for everything, especially organic cotton. Shop the collection at wearpact.com.
Bras fit small-chested women like this.
Atrocious gapping.
This. Meet Pepper. No more cup gaps or awkward fits. Specially designed for AA to B cups. The bra reinvented for small boobs.
Watch this. It's all 100% real. Witness what happens to this woman's bags under her eyes in an actual time lapse in just minutes. Nothing has been doctored or tampered with. The very real problem will disappear before your eyes and hers with a revolutionary topical formulation that works in just minutes, and the effects will last for hours and hours. Over 1 million people are using this topical technique to visually reduce puffiness and bags. It works on sagging jowls, even fine lines and wrinkles on the face and forehead. Introducing Plexiderm. In just minutes, you can restore and beautify your face, even look years younger. And the look will last all day or all evening.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm just in love with the mirror right now.
Jump on board and say yes to this amazing $14.95 Prove It Plexiderm trial. You'll see why our customers describe Plexiderm with 3 words. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Order right now. We'll pay your shipping. Operators are standing by.
I was getting older.
My digestion is changing.
I started taking 1 shot of Dose every day, and wow.
Dose is clinically backed. It aids liver function and supports healthy liver enzyme levels.
I have more energy. My stomach settled down.
I'm not planning on slowing down anytime soon.
When you use Ibotta, there's a 100% chance of cash back.
Hello?
At Offers, shop, and watch the money pour in.
There's money falling from the sky.
Ibotta, make it rain every time you shop.
Tracy Richter meets Dr. John Pittman while living in Chicago, and the two are quickly married. They have a son together named Bert, and after a few years, they divorce. Rather quickly, Tracy is remarried to an Australian man she meets online, Michael Roberts. Their honeymoon phase is short-lived, however, as the custody war with Dr. Pittman over Bert begins. Tracy, Bert, and Michael move to early Iowa. They have 2 more kids. Life is fairly simple and quiet until the evening of December 13th, 2001, when intruders break into the home while Michael is away on business. Tracy manages to fight back, and in the struggle, one of the intruders is shot dead. With the area secured, the EMT can now enter the home. He pronounces the young man dead at 7:22 p.m.
The deputy then calls for the DCI lab team and special agents to come to the scene. There are multiple gunshots and blood spatter everywhere. There's lots here that needs thorough analysis.
Detectives try to get a statement from Tracy, but she's preoccupied, demanding to know the identity of the man upstairs that she has shot.
She keeps mentioning her ex-husband, Dr. John Pittman, certain that he's somehow involved. But the deputy knows pretty much everybody in the community, and he conveys to her that the dead body upstairs is likely Tracy's neighbor.
So Dustin Weedy was this 19-year-old kid who had some learning disabilities. One of the most easygoing, friendly, quiet people in town. And when he met Tracy Richter and Michael Roberts, Michael kind of took Dustin under his wing and mentored him.
Dustin craved, approval and attention. He didn't have many friends. He had very, very few friends. And so the Roberts at least presented as friends to Dustin. And I know that Dustin believed that everybody in that family, even Tracy, was a friend.
The revelation that she's just shot and killed her neighbor, a friend of the family's, comes as a shock to Tracy. She can't fathom why he'd want to hurt her or her children after everything Michael has done to accept him into their home.
Tracy said she didn't know who it was. She didn't know who she shot and killed, but it was Bert. At that time, when Tracy said she didn't know, Bert said something to the effect of, well, it was Dustin, Mom. Don't you know? It was Dustin that we had seen. And so that's when she hyperventilated, and then they whisked her away to the emergency room.
While Tracy and her kids are taken to hospital, The deputy medical examiner arrives on the scene.
The detectives can immediately see that it is a very grisly scene. The victim is located on the ground with blood pooling around his body and multiple visible shots to his head and upper body. Additionally, there are large amounts of blood spatter throughout the room.
He notices something in the pocket of the jeans and he removes a wallet. Inside the wallet is identification that confirms the deputy's suspicion that this young man is in fact the mild-mannered neighbor Dustin.
While Tracy awaits medical attention, detectives ask for her account of events. But Tracy isn't willing to talk to detectives just yet, and the lieutenant obliges, leaving her to the care of medical professionals for the time being.
Tracy had never given a statement to law enforcement until after she had spoken with the local paper. She didn't speak with the detectives, the State Detective Bureau. She contacted the local newspaper and asked them to come interview her, and she gave them a full-blown interview.
Tracy recounts for the reporter the deadly home invasion that she's just survived. She explains that her husband Michael is away on business. She's running a bath for her daughter when she hears a noise from downstairs.
She's upstairs. She hears people come in, and she looks down the stairs and she sees somebody.
There were two figures coming up the stairs, and I saw the face of the first one come up, and it wasn't Michael. I ran away and was going into the boys' room when I was grabbed from behind. There was a struggle in the hallway that started out in front of Bert's room. There was something around my neck. I was twisting and jerking and kicking and trying to get free, and I couldn't get free. The next thing I remember is waking up on the floor in the guest room bedroom. I heard my oldest boy yelling, and I thought I was having a bad dream. I got up, and I immediately ran towards the commotion that was occurring outside Bert's room. Halfway there, I realized, what was I going to do? There were what appeared to be two figures down there.
Tracy knows she needs to fight. She beelines it to her bedroom, where she and Michael keep a gun safe.
I went between the bed and the dresser wall. I was trying to get the gun safe open, and it wasn't opening up. And then there was someone grabbing at me.
Tracy repeatedly tries the combination lock in the dark, and just when she's about to be overpowered, the safe opens.
These weren't really guns for novice people. We're talking a 440, a 357. You know, those are hand cannons. You fire that gun, you're going to kill somebody with that gun.
I fired until the figure that was there wasn't standing there anymore. I heard my kids screaming. I reached into the gun safe, grabbed a second weapon, and then I ran down the hall to the kids' room and opened their door. And Bert almost took my head off with a baseball bat. At that point, I asked if they were okay. They said they were fine.
Then she hears moaning coming from the bedroom and she goes back to check on the intruder. She tells reporters that at this time she hadn't identified the person as her neighbor.
Tracy sees the man moving.
I was screaming, "Don't move, don't get up." They kept trying to get up. I eventually fired, I believe, one round.
After he fails to comply, she fires until he stops moving.
Tracy finishes her harrowing account of what happens by speculating that her ex-husband, Dr. John Pittman, is involved. At this point, there's no evidence to corroborate this theory, other than a hunch, but that may soon change. While investigators search for the unidentified man who got away, They also have the unenviable task of informing Dustin's parents that their son was shot and killed. They confirm that he leaves around 5:30 p.m. and that the white car at the Roberts house is his. Investigators look to obtain a warrant to search the car. They're hopeful there may be some piece of evidence that can illuminate Dustin's motive in this home invasion gone wrong.
When you get approved with Drive Time, you get the real deal.
It's the Drive Time Real Deal Maker. It lets you customize the real down payment and monthly payment of the car you want to buy.
That's super smart. And the deal you make on your phone is the deal you pay.
You make the deal yourself.
Get the real deal at drivetime.com.
Over 100 million Americans have low or no credit. Self is a new way to build credit. No credit score required. Self customers who start under 600 and make on-time payments see a 49-point bump in their credit score on average. Download the app today.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
They're called Shynasty hammock underwear. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these. Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to hammock underwear at shynasty.com.
Everyone warned me about credit cards, but I found the Chime Credit Builder card and was able to build my credit with no annual fees or interest. My score went up over 60 points and I bought my first car. My next goal, a 700 credit score. Join me at Chime.com.
We're giving away this 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath in the heart of the Ozark National Forest. You can win this cabinet or $1 million cash.
Go to OneCountry.com today. Sign up.
Meet EarthBreeze, a revolutionary laundry detergent that magically dissolves in any wash. There's no wasteful plastic jug, and it's water-free because you already have water. The future of laundry detergent has arrived. Learn more at earthbreeze.com.
I'm here today to talk to you about addiction. It's an incredibly complex and difficult subject, and there are many reasons people struggle with it. Some feel isolated, some feel trapped, some feel despair. Many people avoid talking about it to avoid dealing with it. But when you start talking, it becomes easier and the way out becomes clear. You can get help today by calling the number on your screen to start talking with someone who knows and understands your struggles. Someone who's been where you are. So call now. No more excuses, no more dying. If you or someone you love is fighting with a drug or alcohol addiction, reach out and talk to someone you can trust, someone who found recovery. However it started, your addiction can end by making this free call.
Call 800-709-6547.
This is an urgent appeal for nature. Forests are burning, glaciers are melting, and wildlife is facing an extinction crisis. We urgently need your help to protect wildlife and their habitats. Visit this website, call or scan this code now. Join with your $12 monthly gift to be counted for this urgent appeal. Your gift will support WWF's global conservation work. That's just 40 cents a day to protect wildlife and their habitats. Everyone has a role to play to protect wildlife from extinction, and no gift is too small. Sign up in the next 5 minutes, and we'll send you this free thank you gift with a tote bag, calendar, and this elephant plush keepsake. We need you now more than ever. Go online, call, or scan right now.
My friends call me Sam. I naturally hold a lot of stress in my digestive system, as a lot of women do. When I travel, I get constipated, I get really poop shy. When I started taking DSO1, I immediately noticed how much lighter I felt, vibrant, alive. It really helps me stay regular, and you're not bloated at all. I honestly recommend DSO1 to everyone.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Shop all your favorite classics, like our super comfy waffle collection and our best-selling cold weather leggings at the best prices ever. From extra warm polar fleece jackets and our famous go-to sweats, we have what you need to stay warm all winter long. Go to fabletics.com to get 70% off every single thing.
The future. The way you see it is said to depend on where you sit. At X-Chair, we think it also gets down to how you sit, which is why our technology is light years ahead. With our groundbreaking Elemax technology, bringing hot, cold, and touch into one extraordinary seating experience. At X-Chair, we've got our eye on the future of work, so you can focus on the present. Visit xchair.com to find out how you can own an X-Chair for only $20 a month. xchair.com.
Coming up next on True Crime Network.
On December 13th, 2001, two men break into Tracy Richter's home while her husband Michael is away on business. Tracy is attacked, but manages to get to the gun safe. She kills one of the intruders in self-defense, her neighbor, Dustin Weedy. Officers meticulously photograph the home and collect evidence, including the two guns Tracy uses to kill Dustin. A search of the house reveals no forced entry, and nothing appears to be stolen. There are no signs of ransacking in any of the rooms in the house. The only room that appears to be disturbed is the master bedroom, where the shooting takes place.
The detectives realize that blood spatter is going to be important to this case and that they need to document how the blood was deposited. Looking at how the blood is deposited can help tell the story of what happened and give the detectives some insight into what took place and how it took place.
Right now, one of the biggest questions still looming is what motivated the attack. But Tracy is convinced she already knows who is behind this. Her ex-husband, John Pittman. Officers obtain a warrant and search Dustin's car.
Dustin Weedy's car is parked in the driveway of the Roberts home. And in full view, lying on the seat is a journal, a notebook.
Investigators bag it for evidence to be looked at later. There's not much else of interest in the car except an old computer, but it's unlikely that this is what Dustin came here to steal.
The lieutenant is looking through Dustin's notebook when something catches his eye. He sees the name John Pittman written several times.
In the notebook is this kind of narrative in Dustin Weedy's handwriting, confirmed, about how John Pittman, Tracy's first husband, arranged this whole home invasion and the murder of Tracy and her son Bert. So two things now we have to look at. One is, how did Dustin Weedy know John Pittman? John Pittman lives in Chicago. He's never even been to Early, Iowa.
Investigators immediately request handwriting samples from Dustin's parents, careful not to bring up any mention of the notebook that was found in his vehicle. An expert is able to examine the handwriting and determines that it is a match.
There is no doubt that that is Dustin Weedy's handwriting. He wrote that narrative. If he wrote that narrative, then you have to believe that he went into that house with the intention to kill Tracy Richter Roberts and her son Bert.
While investigators are following up on the possible lead found in Dustin's notebook, his body is taken to Sioux City, where an autopsy is performed.
X-rays are taken at the autopsy, followed by a full-body exam. The pathologist is able to determine that the victim, Dustin, has 9 entry gunshot wounds, as well as 8 exit wounds. 1 projectile is recovered from the body, and an additional graze wound is found on Dustin's back. The doctor notes that 6 of the 9 entry wounds are in Dustin's back, which is interesting due to the fact that the suspect, Tracy Richter, is claiming that she killed Dustin in self-defense.
And there's literally a bullet wound in the back of his ear, like he's been executed.
Every piece of evidence is carefully cataloged.
For investigators, the autopsy tells a story that doesn't line up with the one that Tracy's been telling.
This may not be an open and shut case of self-defense, after all. The lieutenant follows up on the possible lead from the notebook and gets in touch with Tracy's ex-husband, Dr. John Pittman.
He's careful not to mention the notebook. Only he and a few other investigators know about it.
it was decided at that time that they would keep that hush, that they would not disclose it in any way and disseminate either, its contents or its existence to anybody. Figuring that the first person to talk about it, the first person to evince knowledge of its contents would have some questions to answer.
Dr. Pittman is eager to help the investigation. He answers all the questions and provides his alibi for December 13th. He tells detectives he's never spoken to or had any contact with Dustin Wade. He does tell them that he's in an ongoing custody battle for Bert. Dr. Pittman informs the lieutenant that in 1991, Tracy was charged for using a firearm in Colorado when she fired a round into the ceiling of their home. He informs him that Tracy has a history of criminal activity. Not only that, on more than one occasion, she has made accusations that he has sexually abused their son, Bert. All of those accusations have been unsubstantiated. Dr. Pittman essentially paints a picture of Tracy as a woman who would basically do anything, including leveraging her own son to get what she wants.
She wanted custody of Bert, and she knew that with her background and that John Pittman had remarried and he was living a really solid, healthy lifestyle. A good guy. She knew she was going to lose custody to him and his new wife.
Investigators look into Dr. Pittman's alibi, as well as his allegations about Tracy's history, and they find that it all checks out. They've eliminated him as a suspect, but in doing so, they've just raised more questions.
Why would his name be in Dustin's notebook? Why would Dustin attack Tracy? Who's the second attacker? Is Tracy's account accurate, or is there something she's not telling police?
The narrative isn't adding up, and as far as public perception is concerned, the residents of Early aren't sure what to believe. Tracy's story has hit the local papers, and rumors and gossip about what has really happened spread quickly.
I think there were a number of different reactions from people within the community. Some, taking, the weedy side. Some believing that, she was a genuine victim. And I saw that the community was fairly split.
In an effort to control the narrative, Tracy and Michael appear on the Montel Williams show, where Tracy is touted as, quote, hero mom. The show is broadcast nationally.
So in the beginning days after this home invasion, Tracy is viewed as some sort of hero, that she protected her family, that she's a gun owner, she knew how to use a weapon, and, we're not going to take it here in Early, Iowa. You come into our home, we're going to protect ourselves.
Almost 1 year later, on November 28th, 2002, Dustin's dad, Brett, commits suicide at his son's grave. In the years that follow, Dustin's mom, Mona, files a case for wrongful death against Tracy, claiming that she lures Dustin in.
The civil suit was ultimately dismissed. Tracy was judgment-proof. The attorney for Dustin's estate, met with Mona, and the two of them, decided that they had gotten from the civil suit what they wanted. It wasn't money. They wanted answers and information, and it was to get this information and then give it to law enforcement.
In 2002, Tracy and her family leave the town of Early, but things with Michael have already started to sour.
Michael and Tracy divorced a few years after the shooting. The divorce proceedings drug on for years and, were very contentious, very litigious.
She begins another custody battle with Michael, in addition to the one she's still fighting with Dr. Pittman. While public perception may be on Tracy's side on the national stage, at home, that's not the case. Tracy's claim of self-defense is looked upon with skepticism. Nonetheless, years go by, and it appears that nothing more will come of the case. But not everyone has forgotten. And in August 2008, a special agent of the Department of Criminal Investigation is assigned to investigate Dustin Windy's murder.
Litter Robot has now solved the litter box problem for over 1 million pet parents around the world. Hi, I'm Brad Back.